So what happens when you finally do find yourself in the story of God? Hey everyone, welcome to The Creek. My name is Jared Miller and I'm the ministry lead here. And Nehemiah has been a story of progress. It started with a group of people who were in exile and were experiencing a whole new way of practicing their faith. They discovered that they weren't necessarily as tied to the land as they thought they were, but there was still something in them that knew that the promise that was made to their ancestors and their ancestors' ancestors was that this place was supposed to be special for them. Under a new king, they got to go home finally, and Nehemiah, because of his influence, because of his prayerful practice, was chosen to be the person who would bring the people home and build the wall for them, give them security, give them the means to become the people that God had intended for them to be from the beginning. And now the walls are done. Nehemiah has handed over the reins of control and governance in the city to more appropriately minded people. And Nehemiah now sits back and watches, but his story is not done yet. Because as the people gather, as the people reflect on what's happened in their midst, as the people begin to, for the first time, reopen the story of God, they see themselves in it in a new way because they've seen what God has done up to this point. They've seen the experience of being a people who have relied and trusted on a God who meets their needs and does exceptionally more than they could ever ask or imagine. They've trusted and they've seen that God has not disappointed, God has not let them down. They've trusted and they've seen, and so the people, for the first time, see what it means to find themselves in the story of God. See, the story of God is not a simple collection of historical stories or stories that happened to other people a long time ago. The story of God is a story that is still unfolding in our midst, still unfolding around us, still unfolding in our world, still unfolding in the life of Nehemiah. It's the funny thing about reading a historical book like Nehemiah, that the words themselves are ancient. The words themselves were written in a language other than the one that I speak. The words themselves have a finite time and a place. And yet, just like then, now, when we read those words, they become something else for us entirely. Our present connects with our past. To find ourselves in the story of God is to find ourselves in a past and a present, to find ourselves outside of a linear sense of time, to find ourselves in an enchanted world, to find ourselves in a world where time is more circular than linear, to find ourselves in a world where God's story is still being told. That's where we'll pick it up next week. For now, we hope that you will subscribe to our YouTube channel or download the Creek app in the App Store or on Android. It is the best way to stay in touch with a group of people or the community of people who are reading this story of God together every week. So for now, take care of yourselves and take care of each other, and we will talk to you soon. All the best. Cheers.